Okay, let's jump straight into it. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're breaking down a literal masterclass in on-field leadership. We're doing a deep dive, post-game tactical analysis of how Rishabh Pant orchestrated this brilliant, absolutely game-saving breakthrough under immense pressure. We're talking about that nail-biting clash between the Lucknow Super Giants and Royal Challengers Bengaluru. So, if you're an aspiring cricket coach, a captain, or frankly just a massive student of the game, grab your notebooks.
Let's kick things off with this viral instruction caught on the stump mic. Line ke bahar bhi dal sakta hai. Isko mix karke dalna padega. Basically translated, it means you can bowl outside the line too. You gotta mix it up. It sounds simple, right? Just two quick sentences. But as we're gonna see, these direct, laser-specific words from behind the stumps totally flipped the script and instantly shifted the momentum of the entire game.
So here's our game plan for this film room session. First, we'll look at the rain-soaked threat. Then, Pant's on-field intervention, followed by the execution of the master plan, and finally, how to coach these high-pressure decisions yourself.
Starting right off with part 1, a rain-soaked threat. Now, as an aspiring coach, you already know that tactics don't just happen in a vacuum, right? You've got to look at the massive contrast here. On one hand, you've got this messy, incredibly chaotic physical environment in Lucknow. Uninvited rain had been interrupting the match over and over, literally dragging this 19-over-a-side contest out until nearly half-past midnight. The ground staff are exhausted. But on the flip side, you have this immediate, glaring threat right there on the pitch, Tim David. The guy was just tearing apart the chase, smashing 40 off only 17 balls, 4 boundaries, 3 massive sixes. The pressure was absolutely boiling over.
To give you some context, LSG had put up a colossal DLS revised total of 213, and a huge chunk of that was thanks to Mitchell Marsh going absolute beast mode to hit 111 off 56 balls, plus some late-stage fireworks from Pant himself. But suddenly, Tim David is out there looking incredibly ominous next to Krunal Pandya, and he is just making a total mockery of that massive target. RCB was charging hard, and you could feel LSG's grip on the game slipping away fast.
Which brings us to part 2, Pant's on-field intervention. I want you to really notice the immediate cause and effect of elite captaincy here. Tim David has literally just launched spinner Shahbaz Ahmed into the stands for a massive 6. The bowler is under serious fire. Now, a lot of captains might just let the game rush right past them in that moment. But Pant, he hits the pause button. He physically intervenes, gesturing, mentoring Shahbaz right there in the heat of battle. Shahbaz takes the advice, executes, and boom! Moments later, the catch is taken. So, why did that specific piece of advice work like magic?
Well, it's basically a brilliant tactical chess match. If we break down the logic of this call, Pant completely read David's mind. He perfectly anticipated the batter's intent. David wanted to play these aggressive cuts. He was hunting for maximum elevation to clear those ropes again. So, Pant's solution? Line ke bahar dal. Bowl quick, flat deliveries outside the off stump. By doing that, you completely take away the batter's leverage. You deny them the very elevation they're desperately looking for. It's just textbook game reading.
All right, move into part 3, executing the master plan. Because, let's be real, a genius tactic is absolutely useless if your teammates don't actually execute it. The real magic is what happens next. The very next delivery after Pant's instructions, Shahbaz fully trusts his captain. He hits the exact prescribed area. We're talking a quick, flat delivery fired right outside the off stump. Trap perfectly set.
And Tim David completely took the bait. He went hard for the aggressive gut shot. But exactly as Pant predicted, he couldn't get underneath it. No elevation. And the result? Digvij Singh Rathi goes flying at backward point, leaps up, and pulls off this stunning overhead catch. Cue the wild celebrations, right? The master plan was executed to absolute perfection.
Now, you really can't overstate the impact of this moment. That single, perfectly orchestrated wicket was like popping a balloon. It completely drained RCB's momentum right in the crucial death overs. Even with a little bit of late resistance, LSG held their nerve and snatched a thrilling 9-run win. But maybe even more importantly, this tactical masterstroke snapped a brutal 6-match losing streak for LSG. It literally kept their fading playoff hopes alive. Talk about a momentum shift.
So, bringing us to our final section, coaching high-pressure decisions. All right, so what are the big takeaways you need to jot down in your coach's notebook from this explainer? Here's your step-by-step tutorial on handling high-stakes bowling changes, straight from Pant's playbook. Step 1, actively read the game situation and anticipate the batter's intent. Get inside their head. Step 2, Deliver direct, highly specific feedback. Don't be vague. Say exactly what's needed, like mix it up outside the line. And step 3, trust your bowlers to execute that variation, specifically using wide lines to strip power hitters of their leverage. And hey, if you want to teach this in practice, set up a net session where bowlers face aggressive, set batters. Force your captains to physically pause the drill and prescribe a specific line and length. Make them practice hitting pause in the chaos.
Now, just as a quick kind of fun aside before we wrap up, I've got to mention some of these wild details from the CricBuzz Pulse Awards for this match, because they really prove that tactical awareness is everything. Take this first one. LSG's Prince Yadav dismissed Virat Kohli for a 2-ball duck in a run chase. And you know how? By using Kohli's own advice from a previous chat to stick to a moving off length. It just shows that game awareness can literally come from your opposition. Throw in the ground staff actually winning a cardio award for sprinting back and forth with the rain covers, plus Mayank Yadav casually skipping warm-ups to hurl 150 km/h thunderbolts on his very first ball, and you realize just how incredibly chaotic this environment was. Yet amid all that madness, clear, calm tactics still won the day. So as we wrap up this tactical analysis, I want you to take this final thought back to your own training grounds. Rishabh Pant completely shifted the momentum of a season-defining match with just 2 sentences of perfect, on-the-spot coaching. It really makes you wonder, right? Are your captains ready to read the game and step up when the pressure peaks? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep studying the game, and I'll catch you next time.